You're listening to America's Diesel Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. This is Ben, Tyler, and Corey from America's Diesel Podcast, coming to you in Spokane, Washington. Make sure and check us out on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere it's listening to podcasts. You can find us by searching America's Diesel Podcast. Also, make sure and check out our social media. Our Diesel Power Products TikTok is blowing up. We also do go live on our Instagram every Wednesday right around 5 p.m. Pacific time. Come have a little bit of chatter, a little bit of beer, talk with boys, talk a bit of shit. Also, make sure and check out our Facebook group, America's Diesel Podcast - the group. 3 questions you must answer to get in there. It is a spicy unit, so hide your kids, hide your wife, but lots of good people in there, lots of good information. Tyler, tell me about reviews with stickers that are probably never going to show up.
No.
Cool.
First things first, for those that are watching, Ben has a computer out. I just want you guys to know, the computer don't even freaking work. All right?
I've got an Excel sheet.
He's just
right
sitting there
now
to look professional with a computer out, but it's actually not even working.
You know the great thing about the computer? It's got one of them stickers on it.
Yeah, that sticker that is on that computer was supposed to be sent to one of you guys for sending in a 5-star review on any of the platforms that you listen to this podcast on. Screenshot that review and send it to podcast@dieselpowerproducts.com. Make sure to include a picture of your truck and an address, and maybe I'll tell Ben to rip that sticker off his computer and send it to you. It might not stick the best. There's sprays for that.
Also, I think Mitch and Keith
they're auctioning off some stickers.
off a couple stickers. So maybe if you guys
Are they
want
really?
some, oh yeah.
I've seen
like
the post,
on eBay.
on the Facebook group. I've seen the post and I haven't commented on them yet because I'm waiting. Yeah,
I got brought into an Instagram group that I have not even accepted yet.
Is it the podcast group? Yeah, I'm in that.
I was creeped. I know I saw you were in on it, but I still haven't. I don't think I accepted it yet, and I'm just creeping.
I wouldn't.
I'm just creeping, boys.
It's about 5 or 6 of us, and I'll be honest, like,
you wouldn't do it.
I really don't want to be in there, but every once in a while there's input that I can give, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll chime in.
You guys sent me that group, but then I got put into another group with these chicks that said they were going to send me things. Send me pictures.
That's a scam. That's called a scam.
No, I know. I obviously, but I was like, hey, look at this group, and then look at this group.
Next, he's going to join a group with a Nigerian princess.
Yeah. With a whole bunch of AI generated tits and shit.
Yeah. Hey, tits are tits, all right?
Hey, man. Tits on a screen or tits on a screen, my friend.
If it's got a nipple, you can milk it.
Can you milk me, Greg? I've got nipples.
Movie reference.
Yeah. Yeah. So
this week's podcast episode is brought to you by Fuel Bomb Diesel Additive, an additive designed for diesel enthusiasts, made by diesel enthusiasts. Ben, take it away.
Hell yeah, dude. So this is our in-house Fuel Bomb fuel additive for your diesel truck. Our biggest thing here is making sure that you can pretty much always have diesel additive on you all the time. You've got a lot of other additives out on the market that they have, anti-gel in there all the time. They have cetane in there all the time. They end up being big and bulky bottles. Our standard everyday diesel fuel additive is 1 ounce per 32 gallons, and that's its main job is to make sure that your fuel system stays lubricated and prevents the formation of algae. And it should also help you in colder climates too.
Should definitely help you in colder climates. Along with cleaning your fuel system and maintaining it, it'll also help you bump that cetane number up for a more efficient burn of your diesel fuel. And if cetane is just what you're after, there's the Fuel Bomb Hellfire, which is our straight 8+ cetane enhancer.
Yeah, and you guys asked, and we brought them back. We did go away from the bottles that didn't have the measuring little parts in there. We brought them back for you, so now you can measure out your 1 ounce per 32 gallons for the F-Bomb or 4 ounces per 32 gallons for the Hellfire.
Both these additives are available on our website, dieselpowerproducts.com. Now let's get back to that episode.
I want to talk about the one of the things I fixed on the red truck, and then what people are seemingly offering me, and all the damn scammers out there are trying to do their thing. But first things first, what I fixed on the truck, I did have an ABS light. For those of you that are wondering about the OBS Power Strokes, they have an ABS module for the rear brakes, not the front. And the only way to it's OBD1. Even though it has an OBD2 port and you can read stuff on there, the ABS system is still like basically old school analog. Yes, Tyler?
Does that truck have super fat boy suspension? Did you see that thing I sent you? Do you know that's actually on a manufacturer's line card for like a attribute of the truck?
Is it like heavier springs on the driver's side?
I have no idea. I showed Jesse it and I was like, you freaking Ford guys and your weird terminology was shit.
Super fat.
Do you know what it was for?
What?
Brakes. rotors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Super fat boy suspension. But do you want to think it is?
What?
So newer, F450s, turning radius and that sort of thing. Or it was wide. Was it super wide or wide track fat boy suspension, whatever they called it?
Oh,
I can't remember
is it
exactly.
To get the super 60 on the front for the turning?
I don't know. I'm relying on very minimal information from this without having to call this manufacturer and ask them. Yeah. So, but anyways.
Yeah, so to get the, there's a list of codes that the ABS module will tell you, and you disconnect the connector onto the glove, or onto the glove box, ground it out, and then you go watch the light on the dash, and it goes blink, 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 and how many times it blinks, that's the code, and you look up the code and what it is. Hey. So I looked up the code, and it was a very ominous code, so I was like, all right, cool. Well, I guess I might as well just start with the basics here. And I basically found out, so I took the cap off, and obviously basics with brake stuff, like, is the cap on?
Yeah.
Do you have fluid?
Yeah.
Is there a massive leak somewhere? So start with the basics. And I've blown these brakes a whole bunch of times because I obviously changed the axles. And it seems to be stopping okay, but then I still have an ABS light. And I still have it posted. I didn't mention anything about the ABS light at the post, but I was like, I'll probably fix it before then. I'm trying to get it posted. So like, okay. So I pull the cap off, and I noticed that there's a slice on the rubber of the cap. So I'm like, okay, well that maybe that's an issue. But there's also a little float inside the reservoir in the master cylinder that's supposed to go up and down very freely. I kind of like looked at it, and it seemed okay, and I kind of like pressed it with my finger, and I went up and down a little bit, and that was fine. So then I grabbed I was like, let's just rule the cap out. So I grabbed a cap off of my green truck, which is the same master cylinder, obviously. Mm-hmm. Or very similar, and put that on the red truck. Go turn the truck on, ABS lights off. I'm like, it's the cap. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Didn't see that one coming. Okay. So I then, go to the auto parts store, just buy a new cap for it.
Yeah.
Put it on, start driving, ABS light comes back. I'm like, damn it. But then I realized, I did two things. This is why you always do one thing at a time. Because you want to eliminate variables one at a time. So I was like, oh, shit. I touched the float. Maybe the float's sticking again. So I park, open the lid, jiggle the float around a little bit, get in and start driving, ABS light goes off. I'm like, cool, I need a master cylinder. Right on. Master cylinder's like, what, $70?
Yeah.
Like that? So I grab master cylinder, take it home, install it after work one night, and the plugs that came with it they didn't come with a plug big enough for one of them, so I couldn't bench bleed it, at least all the way. But I was able to at least fill up the reservoir and let it leak all the way down until it comes out, so at least they were lubricated. But I couldn't plug all the holes, so I couldn't bench bleed it. So I was like, okay. And you guys are probably going to yell at me for doing this. But I was like, okay, I'll just do it in the truck. Whatever. I'll try and pump out the air in there. And knowing I'm going to go through a ton of brake fluid, so I got, 2 extra O'Reilly's bottles of .3 or,
Whatever.
Yeah. Literally whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
And so I just started bleeding the living, pumping the living fuck out of it, bleeding. Oh, I did also test vacuum. So I tested vacuum from the vacuum pump. I had easily 22, 25 inches there. Then I tested vacuum at the hose going to the power booster. Mm-hmm. Plenty of vacuum there. I did not check the actual valve, though, because they have a check valve so it doesn't leak back. Yeah. But I didn't check the vacuum after the valve. And valves are only like $7. So I was like, I'll just get a valve to replace it anyways. Yeah. And it was part of the issue. When I took the old valve out, you kind of can blow through it like one way and like see if it's supposed to blow or not, or air goes through it.
Yeah.
It did. Like it was hindering the flow quite a bit. Yeah. Okay, well, that probably had an effect on it. But yeah, so I went to bench bleed it. Didn't work very well. And so I put it in the truck and bled them as best I could and basically had like the stiffest brake pedal known to man with no braking power. Like none at all. Yeah. So I ended up buying a master cylinder brake bleeder kit, like a Dorman kit. It comes with a whole bunch of fittings and plastic fittings and so just to recycle it back in. Yep. Pumped it out. Freaking light went off. Making good. The truck's got fucking prime brakes now. Yeah. Like this thing fucking stops.
You just made me remember when I lost the brakes in the Suburban.
Oh. That must have been fun.
Dude, it was not. It was probably the scariest time I've ever had going 15 miles an hour. Ah! Like...
barely moving.
No, barely stopping. Yeah. Like, It's not stopping. Yeah, I had to do the same thing. I had to bench bleed it here. I had to put a master cylinder. It was my master cylinder that was bad.
Yeah.
And so that was fun. But
Yeah. But anyways, it's all good now. I also have and for those of you that get an intermittent battery light on OBS trucks, the hose that goes to the heater core from the thermostat housing, it likes to rest on top of the alternator, and it will start grounding. The sensor on the alternator will ground out and give you a battery light even when you're charging. If you don't believe me, look at your hose and see if it's resting on your alternator. If it is, grab a piece of wood and throw it underneath the hose and just go look at your dash. Oh my God, the battery light's off. Take that wood out. Oh my God, the battery light's back on. Don't believe me? Fucking do it.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just get that hose off of the alternator. So, make a little metal bracket and isolate it with a piece of foam or something like that, or a piece of another piece of rubber or something like that, and all of a sudden, bam, no battery light.
Fixed.
Fucking fixed.
Yeah.
With scrap. It's great.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about what people have offered me for this fucking truck.
First things first. Have you had any legitimate, like a real person, nobody from Nigeria?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yes. So I posted it on like a Tuesday, and that Thursday, I'm going to give you guys a couple of hints here of how to tell if it's a scammer. And I know a lot of people, if they sell stuff on Craigslist all the time, you'll know
if they
that.
message you immediately after it's posted, like within 5 minutes, it's a scam. That's one.
This was not. This was like a day or two after.
Oh.
But, and ironically, none of these scams happened until I posted on Craigslist. So thanks, Craigslist. But when you get people that basically will only mention a time to meet, as in like tomorrow or the next day, it's because they're in Cambodia and they don't know
the time difference.
They don't know the time difference or what day
time
it is.
zone. Yeah.
What they're doing is they're just trying to keep the conversation going.
Right.
And I mentioned that because I literally had one guy, or I assume guy, sounded actually very real. He was like, "Hey, I'm very interested in the truck." And the first giveaway was his number was from Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
So Canada, but I mean, we're in Spokane, not far. My number's down in California. We have cell phones.
There's a ton of people that come down from Canada to buy rigs.
So it wasn't, first off, I Googled the area code. I was like, okay, that's not, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
And I Googled the number and it didn't pop up as like spam or fraud or anything like that. I was like, okay, I'll play here. And he's like, yeah, I just need to, check in with my wife and make sure that we can make it down there. Is, what time works for you, either, like today or the next day? Or no, he said in the next 2 days. Oh, okay. So I was like, cool, let me check. I got to do the same. Hang tight. So called my wife. Okay. So I messaged him back. Oh, yeah, I'm free, Friday after 6:30 or Saturday before 11. And then he said something along the lines of like, cool, do you have the OCR report or the OCR form for the truck? I'm going to need that for when I buy it. And I'm thinking about OCR form. Yeah. I've literally never heard of that. But it's a Canadian number, so maybe it's like...
Yeah, some weird Canadian...
It's like on-road Canadian registration. I don't fucking know, right?
Yeah.
So I start Googling. I'm like, OCR report, nothing. OCR report Canada, nothing. OCR report automotive, nothing. And then as I'm searching for this, he texts again. He says, as far as time goes, do you have anything potentially like the next day? And I'm like...
We're talking about 2 days already.
The next day, the next day, it's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. That is the next day. Like I told you already.
Yeah.
Friday after 6:30. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like,
yeah, you gave him 2 days.
Yeah. And I'm like, I started putting it together. I'm like, oh, this guy's a fucking fraud.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never heard of an OCR form. And then he stopped texting me. Okay.
Yeah.
And I basically got about 5 more of those, and they will all ask. They will never give you a this like Friday at 2
right.
or something like that, and they will all ask you to click on a link.
Yeah.
They will all ask you for a form that's an acronym you've never heard of, and they will all like just so I started first off. Now when I get a text for something like that, I'll first thing I do is I Google the area code.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it's just an area code I don't recognize,
right,
I just immediately call them. Just immediately, don't even text them. Immediately, just call them.
Yeah.
And you will hear some of the, I'll fucking call it right now. Well, you'll hear some like the weirdest voicemail greetings you've ever heard in your life. That sounds official, but it's not. Let me pull one up.
You should call and be like, listen, we got your OCR report and we were going over it and we see some inconsistencies here.
Yeah.
Did you pay your taxes? No.
Yeah, one said OCR report. I had another one that said VC report, and then I had one. Is the vehicle posted on CL still available for sale? Please respond if yes with the last asking price. Signed, Kevin H. I don't know who the fuck sends texts like that.
Yeah, definitely not no Kevin's.
Yeah, but here, so then this is what if they answer, it's gonna be great, but they won't. But this is like the greeting.
If they answer, let's go roll with it.
100%.
The person at extension 1001 is unavailable. Sorry, but the user's mailbox can't accept more messages.
So that's one of them. That one didn't even ring. Because one of them actually did ring. Let's see here. I don't know what time it is in Cambodia right now.
This podcast just got more interesting.
Live action.
Live action.
We're sorry. This person is not available right now.
This person.
Please leave a message after the beep.
I have your TPS reports for the OCR. I was wondering if you'd still like to make a purchase. I'd like 9 million Nigerian coins sent to account number 69420. Please and thank you, and don't call this number until a transfer has been made, or we'll find you.
And don't contact police.
And don't contact police. No police! You bring to me! We'll see how that goes. Maybe they'll call me back.
If they call you back, that's going to be the most epic shit that's ever happened on here. No police.
You bring to me? What the fuck is wrong?
That's what they say in the movies.
I know. Don't call the cops.
Yeah. I swear, we've got your phones tapped. You've called the cops. Deal is over.
I almost wanted to say, like, I'll find you and kill you. I was like, they can sue me for that.
Yeah. Just go straight up taken on him. Just Liam, what is it? Liam
Nielsen?
Nielsen? Yeah. Straight up.
You got a specific set of skills.
Yeah.
You're not going to like this.
Yeah. I know where you live. I know where you sleep. I know where you work. I have a particular set of skills. That's all I got.
And apparently an affinity for 1995 VC OCR reports. Anyways.
VCOCR.
Yeah, VCOCR reports.
It's like, no, you're talking about VCR reports, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I've also had people message me because one guy was like, "Is that truck lifted?" I'm like, "No, because it's got a 60 Kingpin in the front. It's got F350 front springs, but F250 rear springs. So it's level in the back for a 250, but level in the front for an F350. But they sit higher as an F350. So yes, that's why it's level stance. Any other questions you have, man? Do you want to come take a look at it? No, I was just wondering how you set it up." Asshole.
No, tell him about the guy that like was
the brackets.
Yes. Okay. Thank God.
So I had another guy reach out. This is on Facebook. And he's like, "Hey, I was hoping you could help me out. I'm not looking to buy the truck." Okay, I appreciate him being upfront with it. I get that. He's like, "I just bought those exact same steps and I have that exact same truck, but the guy I bought them from didn't give me any brackets. Is there any way that you could, take some pictures of the brackets and how they're attached, and send me some pictures?" I was like, thinking to myself, like, I'm literally going to be under there doing bleeding brakes after last summer. Yeah, I'll snap a couple pictures. I can fucking help you out. Like, yeah, sure, dude. I'll snap a couple pictures. That's fine. So I'm under there, bleeding brakes, and I'm like, okay. Tell my wife I'm done. Don't need her anymore. And so I snap, I think probably like 12 pictures, like 3 of each bracket.
Yeah.
And I sent them to him, and I got like all different views and everything. And it's like daylight still. So then he responds with, "Would you mind taking a tape measure and measuring these exact things? Or if you happen to have like a micrometer or something like that." And I'm like, dude, if you're making these brackets, the pictures I gave you have 3 angles of each bracket. You got to figure that out, my friend.
First of all, and also, these are iron cross steps, bro.
Yeah.
Go on their website. Look at the brackets. Like
These are like Weston chrome
Weston,
Nerf bars with the plastic inserts. They've been selling them since like 1975.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just buy new ones, bro.
Yeah.
Just buy new ones.
And I just
Or in fact, go to a scrapyard that allows you to like walk around the back. Find another truck with freaking steps on it.
Yeah. But I mean, even I kind of want to be like, yeah, you can like take all the pictures you want, just buy the truck.
Yeah.
I have a couple of people message like, you know, like, hey, nice truck. I'm like, cool, it's for sale.
like
fuck.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time.
Yeah.
And then I had one guy email me. He said, I don't know if you're looking for trades, but I have an 88 Toyota and a 2012 KTM 350. I was like, I like dirt bikes.
Yeah.
I like Toyotas. I mean, I was like, I didn't say no trades, but okay. You know, I'll fucking bite. And then he said it was some cash on top. I'm like, fuck, this might be kind of cool.
Right.
And so I'm thinking to myself, like, and then I read the email again. I was like, it just says 88 Toyota. Like, could be at your cell. Could be a fucking van. Don't know. I assume truck because he's got a dirt bike, but you never know. And then I went immediately to Ash's office about the KTM because he's a KTM guy. Or a dirt bike guy, but mostly KTM guy. And I was like, I don't know anything about, like, I love watching Supercross, love watching motocross, love dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Like, as far as ownership, I don't know shit.
Yeah, and like, what's this worth? Don't know.
What's it worth? Like, am I buying a 6 liter? Like, what the fuck's going on here? You know? And I tell him the year, and he's like, what do you remember about Supercross in 2012, maybe 2011? I was like,
banger. It was a great time.
I was
Loved
like,
it.
I don't remember any KTM. He's like, that's exactly why. The KTM didn't really start giving a fuck. They like went back and redesigned everything for basically 2012. Remember, that's when Dungey signed. I was like, that's fucking right. Dungey went to Red Bull KTM was like all the fucking raids. Supercross 2012. I fully fucking remember now.
I thought that was Dungey and Roxon, right?
And Newskin for a while. Yeah. All of them were on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, right. And he's like, so what you're doing is you're basically buying. He's like, and they haven't really changed a ton, like over the years and whatnot. They changed, but not like exact. Like, you're basically buying like the very first, like 6 liter, like the first one off the line. And keep in mind, dirt bikes don't age like trucks. Yeah. This thing's like 11 years old. I guarantee you, it's beat to fuck.
Oh yeah,
it's beat to absolute shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know. But I don't have a dirt bike. It's more than I have now.
Right.
If it starts and goes,
it goes from like jacked.
I mean, I'm kind of in.
Yeah,
you know? And then he's like, yeah. He's like, don't get me wrong. He's like, I would love for you to have a dirt bike. Let's go fucking ride. Like, I get that. But he goes, 2 things. One, if this breaks, you're going to ask me to fix it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll pay you. He's like, yeah, I don't want to fix it though. It's 4-stroke. Fuck that thing. I don't want a 4-stroke. I'm like, okay. He goes, 2, when that breaks, because I guarantee it's probably never been serviced. When that thing breaks, it's going to cost like basically how much a new bike costs now. So if you're willing to accept that, just go buy my bike from me, which is 1 year old, and I'll go buy a new one. How about that? And I was like, okay, all right, point taken.
Enough.
Thanks, Dad. But then I got pictures of the truck, and it's an 88 Toyota truck.
Doesn't look bad. He showed me the picture. It doesn't look bad. It actually looks kind of cool.
It's got some rust on it. It's a single cab 3 liter. Had the heads done. It's got almost 300,000 miles on it, but all the body is there.
Yeah. It's got the cool Toyota like stripe action going on.
Yeah, it's red with the gold stripe. Got some rock crushers on there. And he said, the KTM, the truck, and $2,000. And I considered it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the dirt bike's going to blow up any minute.
Yeah.
And I would rather have a 22 RE in that truck.
Right.
Because I'd like a little gas zipper to kind of drive around.
Yeah.
You know, just for a little bit or sell or something.
Oh, especially like a little 4-wheel drive for like the wintertime and whatnot.
Exactly.
Like, awesome. Yeah. Great little truck.
Fantastic little truck. I wouldn't need it for very long, but it'd be nice to kind of put around on. So like, and also resale value on trucks when they get that age. Like everybody wants the 22 because it's bulletproof. Nobody wants a 3.0 that's got heads on it.
Right.
Like that's already got the heads.
Yeah.
I don't want it. And I'm pretty sure it's an automatic.
Yeah.
And it's not.
And it's like,
cab.
hey, dude, why aren't you selling that yourself?
Exactly. But But yeah, so I decided to just kind of let that one fizzle out. I'm gonna. I never responded to his most recent email because I asked for more information and more pictures, and he literally sent me like a drop of information. So I'm kind of like, all right, I'm not gonna pull teeth with this guy.
Yeah,
like,
I always enjoyed when listing something the trades, as far as what someone's able to. What did I have for sale? What was I selling? I think it was it was a vehicle. I don't remember what vehicle it was, but this guy wanted to trade me like three guns, and I like almost did it. And he, I can't remember what the guns were. One was a rifle, the other was it was a pistol, but it was like it looked like something you would pick up from a guy after you shot him on Grand Theft Auto. like what am I gonna do with this thing? Like it looked like a Tech 9 or something. Like it was like, what the hell? Like, first of all, where'd you get that? Yeah. Second of all, I don't know if I trust you.
like I like guns. I don't want that.
Yeah, so I didn't do it, and I'm glad I didn't, because I ended up selling it for this thing called money.
Yeah.
Which was a lot more useful.
You can buy guns with it.
Yeah. The only trade that I've ever done was for my Matco toolbox. I traded for a motorcycle because I knew I could sell the motorcycle quicker than a toolbox.
I agree. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that one makes sense. Like I did that it was a KTM 525 EXE. I don't remember the year. It was a fun little bike. I rode it around for a little bit. But yeah, that's the only trade that I did. And at the end of the day, I ended up getting like within $100 of what I wanted for the toolbox. So
there you go.
it kind of worked out. And I had to pick it up in Wenatchee. I had to pick, which was fine because that's when my mother-in-law was living in Seattle. And so we were already going over there. So I was like, I'll just load up the toolbox, pick up this bike, and head over there. And I ended up riding the bike to the coast, and we went to like a couple of restaurants and whatnot, and it was actually pretty fun. So
nice.
It ended up working out. And that, another little side story, funny story. That's when we had Willis, our Basset Hound. And this is when he was super young, right? We're getting ready to, what were we doing? I think we were getting ready to leave to go to like another restaurant or something, and I was going to ride the bike, right? So like I had like this jacket on, I had my helmet on, and Willis gets out of my mother-in-law's house. Basset Hounds aren't necessarily the fastest dog,
but they're quick.
But I swear to this day that Willis was the world's fastest Basset Hound. Like, he was so fast. Like, it was incredible. He gets out of that freaking house, dude, and he just fucking bolts down the road. And I've got like my boots on, I've got my helmet on, jacket, and I'm trying to chase this freaking dog down the road. I end up taking my helmet off and throwing it at the dog. He ends up in this like this house's backyard where they're like having a party. And here's Willis just hauling ass, and here's me after I pick up my helmet. I'm like walking back there, like, God damn it, you little shit. Anyways, yeah. Side story.
So as far as like the trades go, I feel kind of weird offering the trade up to other people unless they specifically say open to trades in their listings. Because I wouldn't mind trading it. So for, let's say, like a much lower mileage Super Duty 7.3 that needs some work. Like, in a perfect world, I would love to, someone's like, I took this on as a project, don't really want it anymore, and it's like a 99 to 03 with like hopefully sub 200, and it like needs a high pressure oil pump, injectors, and a turbo, and they're like, and it's a manual, or something like that. They would be willing to swap it with me, or something like that. So I am scouring Craigslist.
Trades though are always hard because it's usually something that is not that desirable, but is like, it's okay, but it's it's just not. Yeah, like there's a reason. There's a reason they're asking to trade is because they either A, can't sell it themselves, or two, they just don't have any money and want to get rid of this car or whatever and get a truck or something. Yeah. And so
I didn't even ask the titles. For all I know, both of them like don't have titles and shit like that. So anyways. But yeah, so that's been my adventure so far selling it. We're going to keep going and see what happens. As of now, the date is July 19th. Still has not sold, but I did lower the price. I originally posted it for $13,500, dropped it down to $12,500. If I gave it a week at $13,500, I'm going to give it another week at $12,500. And then I'll drop it to $11,500.
Which is that's what you were originally going to put it for, wasn't it? Was like 11 something?
Yeah, I would love to get as close to 10 as possible for it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see why not. I mean, it's a good looking truck for its age. I mean, obviously, it's got some dings and dents and whatnot, but it's not a 50 footer. It's more like a 15 footer.
Yeah, and God, I need to take a video of it starting, but like, it starts up so good.
Like a freaking sewing machine. It's
just so
smooth and rattly.
Smooth and rattly, like a bunch of just like really like highly efficient smooth rocks.
Yeah, like a bag of marbles.
Yeah. Bag of marbles, but with like one piece of titanium.
Instead of a box of rocks, it's a bag of marbles.
Yeah. It's a bag of marbles. All right, dudes, that's gonna wrap up this one. I greatly appreciate all you guys tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at dieselpowerproducts.com.